This is a World War II German Panzergranate 18. It is a 3.7cm armour-piercing anti-tank round, and it was used on the 3.7cm anti-tank gun, the Pak-35-36. From a distance of 1,000 metres, it could pierce up to 34mm of armour, and from a distance of 100 metres, it could pierce 40mm of armour. But 100 metres in distance is pretty close. I wouldn't want to be that close. It was the standard anti-tank gun for the Germans at the beginning of the war. However, it did remain in service right up until 1945. It first saw service in 1936 with the Condor Legion in the Spanish Civil War. The Germans used the Spanish Civil War as basically a testing ground for a lot of their weaponry, and this, the 3.7, did very well against the Soviet tanks. The same for when they invaded Poland in 1939, it performed very well against Polish armour, but when it went to France, that's where it started to meet its match, and it became known as, excuse my German here, the Heers Ankelklopfverrat, which translates as the army door knocker. And it was called the door knocker because literally it was just knocking on the side of your tank, letting you know that, hello, I'm here, and it wasn't actually causing any damage. And Matilda tanks and French tanks, could take multiple shots without any damage from the 3.7cm, so it became known as the door knocker. To combat this issue, the Germans did invent something called a Stilgranat 41, which was basically a big rocket that worked like a rifle grenade, went over the barrel of the 3.7cm anti-tank gun, fired by using a blank charge, and it could pierce 180mm of armour, but it wasn't very accurate, and it had a fuse right at the front. It had to land there to explode, and if it hit the sides, it just wasn't very good, and yeah, not a very good weapon. So what you find is, late 1940, the Pak-38, which is a 5cm anti-tank gun, starts to replace the 3.7cm, and by the end of 1941, you have the 7.5cm round, which is the Pak-40, and that replaces basically the 3.7cm, but this did remain in service throughout the war. It was also used on Stukas, and this is a very rare 3.7cm round for the Stuka. If you want a video on that, let me know in the comments. And lastly, the British equivalent of the 3.7cm anti-tank round would be the British 2-pounder. Cheers for watching, guys. Hopefully you learnt something. Please subscribe. Cheers.